Okay, let's jump right in. Have you ever thought about what it actually takes to win in one of the biggest, most fiercely competitive auto markets on the planet? I mean, it's like a giant, high-stakes puzzle. And today, we're going to piece the whole thing together. What we've got here is the ultimate automotive showdown. In one corner, you have the global pioneer, a brand built entirely on promising long-term peace of mind and just incredible hybrid efficiency. And in the other corner, a true homegrown hero. We're talking bold design, extreme rugged utility, and honestly unmatched competitive value. So two completely different philosophies, both battling for total dominance on the exact same roads. Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so glad you're joining me, because today, we're doing a head-to-head, no-holds-barred comparative analysis of two absolute giants in the Indian automobile sector. Yep, Toyota versus Mahindra. We're digging into the research, pulling up real customer perception data, and breaking down their market positioning to see exactly how these two brilliant strategies stack up against each other. Here's our agenda for today. First, we'll look at the playbook. Then, we'll cover the premium pioneer, followed by the homegrown hero. After that, we'll dive into the customer data, and finally, look at the road ahead. Let's get to it.
Starting off with part one, the playbook, and the rules of engagement. So before we even talk about the cars themselves, we really need to understand the battlefield. Way back in the 1950s, a guy named Neil Borden popularized something called the marketing mix. You probably know it as the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. And look, these aren't just dry academic buzzwords. In this corporate battle, they are literally the weapons of choice. Every single move Toyota and Mahindra make, what they engineer, how aggressively they price it, the showrooms you walk into, the messaging they push, it all ties directly back to this specific framework.
Moving right along to part two, the premium pioneer, Toyota Motor Corporation. Keeping those rules of engagement in our back pocket, let's see how Toyota actually wields those 4 Ps on a global scale. Toyota brings some massive, undeniable global weight to this matchup. They were founded way back in 1937 by Kishiro Toyota, and then, boom, 60 years later, in 1997, they completely changed the game by launching the mass-produced hybrid Prius. But fast forward to the 2024-2025 financial year in India, and wow, Toyota Kirloskar Motor absolutely shattered its own records, blowing past 300,000 domestic units with an unbelievable year-over-year growth rate. I mean, that is some serious, sustained momentum right there. If you've ever found yourself wondering exactly why Toyota commands such crazy high resale value and fierce consumer loyalty, well, it boils down to one core philosophy: Kaizen. It basically translates to continuous improvement and respect for people. And this isn't just a slogan, it's the beating heart of the famous Toyota production system. It is the exact reason why, while operating in over 170 countries, Toyota maintains this rock-solid premium brand perception that's built entirely around exceptional engineering and efficiency. Now, just to put that into perspective, Toyota captures a staggering 81% of the strong hybrid sector in India. 81%. They don't just participate in this market, they essentially own it. For buyers who are zeroing in on a super smooth ride and serious fuel efficiency, especially in those crowded urban environments, Toyota's product strategy is just an absolute powerhouse. Next up, part 3, the homegrown hero, Mahindra and Mahindra Limited. Okay, it is time to flip the script and look at the domestic Titans playbook. Mahindra's roots in India run incredibly deep. They were established in 1945 and actually started their automotive journey assembling Willys Jeeps in 1947. And honestly, that rugged, go-anywhere, built like a tank D&I, it really never left them. They evolved from assembling those classic Jeeps into a massive manufacturing powerhouse that is custom-built to handle incredibly demanding, real-world Indian conditions. And just like Toyota leans heavily on Kaizen, Mahindra operates on their own defining philosophy, which they call the spirit of rise. This whole mindset is centered firmly around customer centricity and sustainable development. In the real world, rise translates into a highly aggressive product strategy. They are all about delivering powerful, feature-loaded vehicles that can penetrate deep into both massive modern urban centers and those expansive, tough rural markets alike. And let me tell you, that strategy, it is paying off in a huge way. 551,487. That is the record-breaking number of SUV units Mahindra sold domestically during just the 2024-2025 financial year. They are pushing these incredibly high volumes and completely dominating the SUV and utility vehicle segments. They offer this unique blend of rugged capability and value that is, quite frankly, just really hard to ignore.
Moving into part 4, customer data, the voice of the customer. Of course, corporate strategies and slick marketing catchphrases, they only really matter if the actual buyers experience them, right? When we dig into the raw survey data on perceived long-term reliability, a very clear picture emerges. Toyota takes a decisive victory here. 50% of respondents trust them for that long-term peace of mind, compared to 36% for Mahindra. Remember that Kaizen philosophy of continuous improvement we talked about? Well, here it is in action. It clearly translates into deep, measurable consumer trust over time. Breaking down exactly where Toyota shines in the minds of consumers. Exactly half, so 50% of respondents prefer Toyota for superior comfort and handling. On top of that, 46% view them as the more modern, tech-oriented choice, which, makes perfect sense given their massive lead in hybrid tech. Plus, 40% stated Toyota simply offers a more accessible service network in their area. So they are very firmly cemented as the premium, reliable, and technologically advanced option. But hey, do not count the homegrown hero out for a second, because Mahindra is holding some incredibly strong cards too. Consumers heavily favor Mahindra when it comes to unmatched, bold styling and aggressive design. If a buyer needs extreme, rugged utility for mixed environments, say you're bouncing between paved city streets and rough off-road rural conditions, Mahindra is literally the absolute go-to. Ultimately, they win big on offering highly compelling value for money. They're giving buyers powerful performance, but without breaking the bank. But let's bring this all back down to reality for a second. Neither brand is perfect. And what's absolutely fascinating is that despite their immense successes on the showroom floor, they share a pretty significant flaw. Survey data reveals a general lack of excellence in after-sales service for both of these giants. Customers consistently report regional inconsistencies in service quality across the board. Mahindra specifically takes some heat for long appointment wait times and just not having enough service centers in certain areas. It's a vital, critical area where both of these massive companies really need to step up their game. And finally, Part 5, the road ahead, navigating future challenges. The automotive world, as we know, never ever stands still. Research data points to 3 critical strategic steps for future growth here. Step 1, the transition to pure battery electric vehicles. Toyota obviously dominates hybrids right now, but they have to successfully navigate that massive jump to full BEVs in India. Step 2, Mahindra really needs to leverage its overwhelming domestic success and aggressively expand their global exports, adapting those powerful SUVs for international buyers. And Step 3, to fix that shared flaw in customer service we just went over, both companies need to start implementing AI-based predictive maintenance to boost after-sales loyalty and keep their drivers on the road. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. We have 2 wildly successful yet fundamentally distinct philosophies going head-to-head. The premium pioneer, leaning hard on global engineering and hybrid efficiency, versus the homegrown hero, betting big on rugged utility and aggressive value. As the monumental era of electric mobility fast approaches, which of these strategies will ultimately command the future of India's roads? It is going to be an absolutely incredible rivalry to watch unfold. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gave you some fantastic, structured insights today. See you next time.